Blackhawks lose 1-0 to the Colorado Avalanche. It was a great effort. We'll break it down next on CHGO Blackhawks. Welcome into the CHGO Blackhawks post-game podcast presented by our friends at Bet365. Download the Bet365 app. Use our code CHGO365 when you sign up. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. I'm Jay Zawaski. That's Greg Boysen. Chloe is flying the plane tonight. Sarah is standing by with parachutes for all of us, just in case. Hawks lose 1-0 to the league's best team, the Colorado Avalanche. We'll get to all of it. Before we do us a favor, hit that like button for us. Make sure you are subscribed to our YouTube page if you're watching us on YouTube, of course. And if you're listening on your favorite podcast app, make sure you're following or subscribed there. This was a pretty wild game, Greg. You had the Hawks really take it to the Avalanche in the first period, outshot them 11-2. Then in the second period, the Hawks are outshot 19-1. Then in the third period, the Hawks outshoot the Avalanche 10-4. Ultimately, 25-22 shots for the Avalanche. And the one goal in this game, Spencer Knight tries to play a puck on top of his crease. He's trying to hit a seam pass down the middle, and I don't know if he did not see the Avalanche player standing there. It was Nielsen, but that shot was made. He made the initial save, but it lost his net. It goes right to Cale Makar, and when Cale Makar has 3/4 of the net open, he is not going to miss. That is the difference in the game. And I think after the game against Buffalo, where they lose 9-3, there was some concern that that could be the beginning of the wheels coming off for the Blackhawks. I know this is a loss, but the way they played, the way they responded, the way they came out makes me feel very good that that Buffalo game is not going to have some catastrophic result on the rest of the season.
Yeah, I mean, that definitely was a fear. The way that Seattle game ended obviously carried over into Buffalo. But they came back home. They had a video day yesterday and talked over some things. And, it's good to see them bounce back. Yeah, it sucks you lose, but all things considered, it was a really good effort. You're playing a team that now on a 9-game winning streak, one regulation loss, and Scott Wedgwood was fantastic tonight.
He was, take nothing away from him, he was really good.
He was excellent. That first period, he was the only reason it wasn't scoreless and that it remained scoreless, and he was great in the third period too. Made some big saves at the end. He's been great for them all season. Mackenzie Blackwood is the number one there, or at least was supposed to start the season, but he was hurt.
Too much wood.
And Wedgwood has been fantastic. I mean, you don't have 9-game winning streaks without great goaltending.
No, you could have as much offense as you want.
You're not 16-1-3 without great goaltending. And they've had great goaltending, back-to-back road shutouts on consecutive nights. They played really well. The second period was rough, but they never, were in over their, they never let it take them off their game completely. And they came back in the third and played well. So
when you look at the second at 5-on-5, yes, the shots were out of control, right? Colorado was all over them. Again, it was 19-1. But of those 19 shots, only 5 were considered high danger. So there was a lot of perimeter. There was a lot of volume. The Hawks did a pretty good job of keeping their gaps, maintaining their spaces. They didn't lose their men very often.
Right.
They came into this game knowing that they were going to have to play close to perfect to win this game or to get a point in this game. And They certainly didn't play perfect, but the mindset of stay disciplined, remember your assignment, remain focused in this game was the case for 60 minutes. Like, look, Colorado has so much talent, especially on the top end. And then you add in, Makar and Taves on the back end, who are basically like having 5 forwards on the ice, to an extent. They're going to get theirs against you. They have one regulation loss all year. But to hang in there against one of the best teams, against the best team in the NHL, right, especially after a tough loss in Seattle and a ass-kicking in Buffalo, I think it's commendable. And I know it sucks to lose, but damn, like, if I had told you 1-0 loss after a 9-3 loss to the Sabres, I think everyone here would have taken it.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you're down 1-0 going in the third period. If you say that at the beginning of the night, you say, yeah, you'll take your chances. Right. It's a good bounce back game. It's, again, sucks they didn't win. You hold the Colorado Avalanche to 1 goal, you should probably win that game.
You would hope, yeah.
And this team will get to that point where they will win those games. Ryan Green had some great chances in the first period.
He's gonna have nightmares.
Couldn't bury them. There were some missed nets, and in the second and third period, there was no room on the ice for the Hawks. Every shot seemed to be getting hit by a stick and going up over the glass.
Yeah,
like the Avalanche shut it down. That first period, the Hawks had space, they had room, they had chances, and I turned to you in the press box about 3 minutes to go in the first period. I said, "Man, if they don't get one here in this period, I don't like their chances."
Yeah.
And unfortunately, they proved me right. But it's not a game that you could really be pounding the table and be mad about. Like, you could be. We were upset after the Seattle game. You were disgusted with the Buffalo game. Tonight, you're like, hey,
you got goal lead.
You lost. You got goal lead, and you lost to the best team in the league, 1-0. There's a lot of positives to take out of that. Now, take those positives and then learn how to win the 1-0 game next time out.
Start getting points out of it, right? And I'll say this too, like the second period, it didn't help that there were the Avalanche wanted to power play twice. And by the way, the penalty kill was outstanding tonight.
Excellent.
But even if you kill a penalty, the other team's going to get momentum. But that Jason Dickinson penalty, where I forget which Avalanche player it was.
It was Lehkonen, yeah.
Yeah, like fell down and
leaning on his own
stick snapped under his own weight, and they called it a slash. Then they had late in the game a Bertuzzi penalty that they realized was so bad that they literally turned it over,
which is crazy. You don't see that very often.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not,
but they owed the Hawks. They owe the Hawks about 9 more overturned calls by the end of the season.
Yeah, well, Hawks will get even at some point here. I hope. Jason Dickinson spoke after the game. Why don't we hear what he had to say? I'm interested to hear how the players are feeling after this one, especially him with his first game back. Here's Jason Dickinson, sent in by Mario, who will join us in a little bit here.
I felt better for sure. My legs took a little while to get back to where they should be, but reads were feeling pretty good. A couple misses that I'd like back, but that's to be expected.
Especially first, third period, had some great chances. This just one night where, you're pretty happy with things and it just better goalie on the other end? I don't know.
Yeah, we can be both happy with the process, but not satisfied with the results, right? Would love for us to get the win, even scrape out a point. Divisional matchup like that, everything matters. So it sucks, but for the most part, that's a lot of good clips that we can go back and watch and be proud of what we did, because it didn't feel like we gave up a whole lot, especially in the first and third.
What happened with the second period where things kind of shifted to their side?
Yeah, hard to say off the top of my head. They're a good team. They're going to push, so maybe a bit of credit to them to say they might have found some holes in our coverage and they started pushing and they found what worked. We can address that in video and go over what needs to be fixed, but it's not a perfect game ever, and that's a good team that's going to have their chances.
They're obviously sort of the bar right now. I obviously think it sucks and you guys lost by goal, but do you like where this team's at, and just when you've been facing some adversity in the last game and coming back and playing?
I think I prefer that part of it, the adversity from last game and a response. there's no easy teams in the league. Like you said, Colorado's, I guess, the bar right now. The way they're playing, they definitely deserve to be talked about in that light. But there's no moral victories in the NHL as much as we're a growing team that maybe you can look at these that way. But personally, I think we're just trying to find our way and measuring ourselves against teams. Although it's a good thing to do to see where we're at, it's not something that carries a lot of weight because every game is so different. There's circumstances every which way that you can look at it and break it down. Okay, Colorado is on a back-to-back. People are going to find ways to kind of minimize what happens. So every game, it matters. It doesn't matter who it is on a given night. If it's 2 days of rest and then into a game, it all matters. So I think it's just being able to do it on a everyday basis. And like you said, responding after a tough one, that's what matters to me.
The second periods have been kind of an Achilles heel for this team this year. Do you think it's an energy thing, or is there even a way to figure out what's going on with the team's second periods?
That's a good question. It's hard to pinpoint what exactly it is. I don't think that there's some magic answer that's like, oh, our second periods, we just decide to not try. It's not that simple. Is it as simple as teams see what we do in the first period and they make adjustments and we are now trying to adjust to their adjustments? Maybe. It's really hard to say. So it sucks that our second periods are letting us down, but it's all part of the process and learning and trying to figure things out as we go here.
That is a dude that is thoughtful and answers questions.
Yeah.
Good for
Always
him.
has.
Yeah, I love hearing from Jason Dickinson because you're always going to get a straight answer and not satisfied, right? And they do have to figure out the second period thing. It has been a problem all year long, but good bounce back game for him. Pretty much dead even and everything. Shot attempts 4, 13 against. He just came out and was Jason Dickinson again.
He had
which is what you want to see.
1 shot on goal, 4 shot attempts, 5 hits, led the team in hits, which testing out that shoulder right off the bat.
Had a huge hit behind the net that rattled the boards more than I've seen all year. It's good to see the shoulders.
Got that out of the way early. Had a block shot, and then he won 8 of 15 faceoffs. So an effective night for one Jason Dickinson. He's an important part of this team.
Right.
I know he's not the 20-goal scorer he was 2 years ago, but he does so much of those little things that you need to do to win hockey games. He still has the speed. He might look a little slower than he was in years past, but that's because everybody around him is faster.
That's part of it.
Like when you're one of the 3 fastest guys on the team, but then the team gets faster, you're going to be like, oh, he's lost a step. No, he's the same speed. Everybody around him is just faster. It's the same thing with Sam Lafferty. 3 years ago when he was here the first time, he was the fastest guy on the team. Now you're like, oh, he looks slow. Well, that's how much faster the rest of the team is.
Yeah.
But he's an important part of this roster, and it's good to have him back because he does, the PK was good tonight, and part of the reason was Jason Dickinson was back on.
Right.
Him and Mikheyev on that top unit.
Oh, there was such a good kill. I think it was the first kill. It was just those two. They're soulmates on the PK. They just were reading everything perfectly and cutting off the lanes. And man, Mikheyev was playing like a man possessed. So solid game for both those guys. We do have to hit the break zone. Here are our game puck nominees. So get your votes in. I nominated Ilya Mikheyev for just what I spoke about. Tremendous penalty killing, as always. Also was creating some things at 5-on-5 with his speed, battling in corners, doing all the little things Ilya Mikheyev does. I thought he had an outstanding night tonight. Who do you got?
I went with Ryan Donato. I thought he was very effective tonight on that line with Dickinson and Mikheyev, and they had some extended offensive zone time, especially in that first period. He finished with 4 shots on 7 attempts, had a couple of hits, a couple of takeaways. There was that one play, was that in the second period, where he got stood up at the blue line, took a big hit, and just bounced right back up and was slamming his stick on the ice, like, give me the puck back. I'd still be laying in a fetal position now if I took that hit. So, really good game from Donato, who's a guy that started off the season red hot and then kind of has, faltered a little bit production-wise, point-wise, but he's also playing down in the lineup where he was playing up top earlier when he was getting all those points.
Mario nominated Spencer Knight, who made 24 of 25 saves. Did kind of cough up the game-winning goal, but more than made up for it with several really, really great saves, including in that third where he did the splits to stop a partial breakaway. So those are your nominees. Get your votes in. We'll reveal the winner at the end of the show. We got to hit the break zone for the first time. If you've not done it yet, please do us a favor. Hit that like button for us, and be sure to subscribe. We will talk to you in 2 minutes on CHGO Blackhawks. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. And with Bet365's early payout offer, you're a winner if your football team goes up by 17 points with an instant payout on straight bets and parlay selections marked as winners. So download the app, use our code CHGO365 when you sign up. Lots of great stuff going on. Monday Night Football, they've got a 50% super profit boost token on same game parlays. You're going to want to check that out. In breaking news from Bet365, new customers now get $150 in bonus bets when they bet 5, win or lose. Sign up, use our code CHGO365. Deposit $10, place a bet for 5 to get $150 in bonus bets. If your bet wins or loses, those bonus bets can be used on spreads, totals, player props, futures, and more. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. You must be 21 plus, and if you or someone you know has a gambling problem, crisis counseling and referral services can be accessed by calling 1-800-GAMBLER, and this offer is in-app only. And getting hold of your finances can be difficult. It's a hard thing to sort out. Lots of accounts, lots of places where your money is. Feel organized and confident in your finances with Monarch Money, an all-in-one personal finance tool that brings your entire financial life together in one clean interface on your laptop or phone. And right now, just for our listeners, Monarch is offering 50% off your first year. I've been using it now for a couple months, and I have actually saved a lot of money just by knowing where my spending is going. It's really easy to lose track of how much I spend on food, how much I spend on gas, groceries, whatever. When it's all right there in front of you, it's really easy to track and get your finances where they need to be. Monarch was named the best budgeting app of 2025 by the Wall Street Journal. They know their stuff, as far as I know. Don't let financial opportunities slip through the cracks. Use our code CHGO at monarch.com in your browser for half off your first year. That's 50% off your first year at monarch.com with code CHGO. All right, we are back on CHGO Blackhawks, and it's time for Taking the Temp, presented by your trusted local experts at Four Seasons Heating, Air Conditioning, Plumbing, and Electric. Visit fourseasonsheatingcooling.com for all their special offers and money-saving coupons. That's fourseasonsheatingcooling.com, and it's going to get cold eventually, so get your furnace checked out before it's too late.
Thanksgiving will feel like winter.
Fine. I'm ready. I'm ready for winter.
I'm ready for just pick a lane.
So, taking a temp, I will say this to people watching the show. If someone in the chat is annoying you, please don't leave the show. The vast majority of people who watch this game are disappointed that it's a loss. I would say 99.5% of them are not punting on the season now because of this loss. Don't let the 0.5% of the people in the chat that want to live and die with every game derail you from enjoying the show. You can go ahead and you could just mute those people, as most of the chat has, and you don't have to worry about them anymore.
Or you can just turn the chat off and enjoy.
You can turn the chat off.
Enjoy these two.
There's a lot of great people in the chat.
Yes, there are.
There's also some people that are very negative and very annoying and very trolly, and you do not. You can control your space and get rid of those people. But I think overall, most people in here are pretty pleased with the performance, and I think on an island, it's very disappointing to oh man, you only lost by 1. You had that great first period. You'd love to see him get a point out of this, but in the context of the last 2 ahead of this one, I think it's especially, it's especially easier to take.
Yeah, it's a nice bounce back. Yes, you didn't get a point, you didn't get a win, and that's disappointing. It's also, again, as we've said a few times this year already, it feels so good to be disappointed when they don't win.
It is, yes.
Like you get to this season, we had better expectations, but we still were like, it's gonna be another tough year, but it won't be as tough. And then they get off to this great start, and then you're thinking, hey, we're almost to American Thanksgiving. Let's see what happens. So it feels good to be feeling crappy about a loss.
Right. That means
because
that
it means like these games are important again. And it's been so long that, we could sit here and be like, man, they should have beat the Avalanche.
Yeah.
Man, they should have won that game against Seattle. Where would they be? That's 4 extra points. Hopefully that doesn't kill us at the end of the season. Who thought we were even going to have those conversations this year?
Yeah, exactly.
So that's, big picture, big perspective. It's, this was a really good rebound to where you could go, okay, you just showed that you could take the best team in the league to the limit. Probably should have beat them tonight, at least got a point tonight. So you could take that and build off of that. But if you don't come out the next game Wednesday against Minnesota, who all of a sudden is
2 shutouts in a row of their own.
But they're getting the goaltending.
Or is it 3? 2?
They've got 2. Jasper Wallstedt's got 3 shutouts in his last 4
Yeah,
starts.
that's right.
And I think they have 2 in a row. I think Gustafsson had one his last start. So they're getting the goaltending. So, if you don't take the positives from this one, build off it, and find a way to beat Minnesota, then you're kind of spinning your wheels. So hopefully this was a step to now. You go Wednesday, Minnesota, Friday, Nashville. 2 big division games. Those are the games you're gonna start playing a lot more inside the Central Division. The first month of the year was a lot of Eastern Conference teams.
Yeah.
And the West teams. Now you're going to play like a lot of divisional games. These are the games where if you want to contend for that 3rd spot or you want to contend for a wild card, let's face it, the Central's getting 5 playoff teams this year.
Right.
I think that's a pretty safe bet.
Yeah.
They're going to get 5. They're going to get both wild cards. So you have to start winning some of these divisional games. Start on Wednesday.
Yeah.
And carry that over to Friday. You beat Minnesota, you beat Nashville, you're feeling a lot better again, and you're back to where you were before the Seattle game.
A couple comments in the chat saying we're just kind of respinning a moral victory. I don't think we're doing that. We've come out and said it is very disappointing not get a point in this game. But I think we also need to look at the context of what this is. This is the league's best team.
This was a game
This team has
everybody
one
thought they were going to
loss.
lose 6-0 tonight.
Like, it's not – come on. If the this
still
is
a loss.
There's
Yes.
still, right.
And it's Jeff Blashill
This is
said.
the first year of them competing. And they fell a goal short to the Avalanche. Like, if you want to say we're calling that a moral victory, fine. And another comment says, like, the Avs were on it back-to-back. The Hawks have played 3 and 4. 3 games in 4 nights. So it's with travel in between. So, like, there's excuses there, too. It's just to glean anything. Look, if they had lost this game 8-0 and shown no effort, then I think we can begin to say, okay, now there's some concern here. Because now we are seeing a team that is fragile and falling apart. They were right there. They were right there with Colorado.
All the same
a couple
things,
bounces and they win this game.
All the same things we've been praising for them all season were there again tonight. The resiliency that we've been praising all year was there. They bounced back, play a really good first period. They bounced back from Saturday or Friday's disaster. And then they get outshot 19-1 in the second period, but then they come out and they fix things, they right the ship, and they have a pretty good third period. These are the things we've been singing the praises about this team all season.
Yeah.
They're on a 3-game losing streak. Okay, every team in the National Hockey League is going to have a 3-game losing streak.
Right, if I told you Thanksgiving week would be their first 3-game losing streak of the year, you would have taken that.
Yeah, so put it in perspective.
It's impossible.
If
you just can't.
The reason people are like, well, we can't have moral victories anymore is because they're winning more.
Right. Yes.
And
of course.
So it's just
whatever.
whatever.
And I just want to be clear. Like, it is extremely disappointing that they couldn't win this game. Of course. Because they did have a great first, and you want to see them convert on some of those chances, right? And like Ryan Green, 3 shots on goal in the first. Connor Bedard was not aggressive enough in this game, but we'll get to that. In the first period, there were a lot of times I said to you, I go, they're getting a lot of chances. They're not going to get a lot as the game goes on, so stop passing the puck. There was a moment where Tavo was dead to rights and just like pulled up, stick handle between his legs, and then nothing came of it. Like that's the annoying stuff that when you look back on the 60 minutes and when this team watches film on this game, they're going to say, damn, you know what? I think they were trying to be a little too cute in the first period because they felt like, as we said earlier, they need to play perfect. So if we're going to score, it's got to be a tic-tac-toe, beautiful, perfect goal. No.
That's not how.
No.
That's not how you usually. I mean, look at the Colorado goal. That wasn't, that was off a rebound.
Right.
A turnover, a quick shot, a rebound, a goal.
Yep.
And listen, we'll see. We could sit here and be like, yeah, we feel good that they lost 1-0. We're disappointed they lost, but we're happy with the effort. They're not. They're not sitting in the locker room having this conversation. They're like, we should have won this game.
Jason Dickinson did not sound satisfied to me.
So they're not. So that's the important part, because as Jeff Blashill said after Friday's loss, he says a loss is a loss. It doesn't matter if it's by 6 or by 1. So the same philosophy here. It's still a loss.
Yeah.
They're not satisfied with that. We're not saying anybody else should be satisfied with it, but considering how Friday night went, and you fast forward to tonight and a major upgrade in competition, there's positives to be taken out of it.
Yeah, and we'll hear from Jeff Blashill here in a few minutes. Mario's going to join us in about 5 minutes from the United Center. One thing I want to make sure we address, because once Mario comes on, the show tends to wrap up very quickly because there's a lot to get to. We said it after the last game. Frank Nazar doesn't look like himself.
I don't think he's healthy.
I don't think he's healthy either. And we said it after the Buffalo game. Dickinson back, and maybe Mikheyev will be, or Burakovsky will be back sooner than later. Jeff Blashill said he looked pretty good today at fifth, third.
Quote, good spot.
Right. Maybe you just give Frank a couple days to heal whatever's, because he's clearly, the speed burst isn't there. We've also seen uncharacteristically, I'm going to say avoiding contact. I don't mean like he's Radim Verbata pulling up and not engaging physically.
That's a deep
But
cut.
I think you would see early in the year Frank finishing checks, those sort of things, and I have not seen as much of that from him.
There was a play in the first period where he got hit behind the net, and he kind of like shifted, and he went right to the bench and said something.
Yeah, he's not right. He's clearly not right.
It's clear that he's playing hurt.
Look, like, props to him for toughing it out, right? It's hockey. Very few guys are 100% healthy, even at this point in the season. But at some point, he is too important to this team if you're just going to have him playing at 60, 70% the rest of the way. I know you've got the Olympic break. He can heal up there, but
yeah,
I don't know. I feel like I'd rather give him a game off or two. You still have Landon Slaggert here. Like I said, maybe Burakovsky is close.
Well, or if you're gonna say, maybe Jason Dickinson puts his arm around Frank and go, hey, as someone who's just gone through this,
right?
Let me tell you. And then maybe you say, all right, we're going to shut down Nazar for a week. And that's when you maybe give Nick Lardis his first taste and say, you're only coming up for these 2 games.
And that's fine.
But that's who you would replace him in the lineup with, another dynamic goal scorer. Because you can't replace Frank Nazar with Landon Slaggert. That's just, they don't do the same.
No, they don't.
So maybe, you'd make the decision to say, okay, Frank, we're going to put you on IR. Enjoy Thanksgiving. Take the week off. We'll come back in 7 days and see how you feel. And then you reward Nick Lardis, who had 4 goals in 2 games over the weekend, and say, okay, you're going to come up for just these 2 games, take Frank's spot, and then you're going to go back to Rockford and do your thing.
I'm here for it.
And then you see where you are then.
Yep. See what he's got. And maybe he does one of those Oliver Moore things where he says, thank you. I'm here forever.
Maybe.
Yeah. All right. Mario is standing by. We're going to hit the break zone. Do us a favor, please. Hit that like button. We'll talk to you in 2 minutes on CHGO Blackhawks, presented by Bet365. Senorita is the full-flavored THC margarita that's rewriting the rules of happy hour. Crafted by wine industry experts. Whoa, pinkies up, everyone. Senorita blends real fruit juice, organic Mexican agave, and a hint of pink salt for award-winning taste. With 5 or 10 milligrams of fast-acting THC, every can delivers a smooth social buzz without the hangover. Perfect for tailgate coolers, game day on the couch, or anytime you're craving something deliciously different. And here's the big question you're asking. Yes, it's non-alcoholic. Real juice, organic agave, fast onset THC, low calorie, and no hangover. Available in a 4-pack or a variety party pack. No matter if you're celebrating Victory Monday or had a game you're trying to forget, You'll wake up without a hangover. Try it now. Scan the QR code on your screen for 20% off your first order with code CHGO. Again, scan that QR code, but you can also buy at retailers like Binny's or order on DoorDash. Must be 21 plus. Please enjoy responsibly. And whatever the sport, you know by now that the app to bet is Circa Sports Illinois. Circa Sports, it's sports betting the way it should be. Circa Sports Illinois has high betting limits, low holds, and the best customer service in the sports wagering game. Bet on all your favorite teams in every game this season. Why would you not just bet the Bears every week, my friend? Just do it on the money line. They'll go undefeated. That's not a guarantee. Spreads, props, futures, or in-game, Circa Sports has it. You can fund and bet like a pro from anywhere, anytime in Illinois. Download your new bookie today at circasports.com. You must be 21 or older. Again, download the app, circasports.com. If you have a gambling problem or someone you love has a gambling problem, you can call 1-800-GAMBLER. All right, we're back on CHGO Blackhawks, and joining us now from the United Center is our buddy Mario Tirabassi. By the way, we've got a number of super chats. We see them. We promise you we will get to them. But we want to get to the news of the day first. And Mario's here with us now. Mario, hello.
What's going on, guys?
Oh, we're talking about the Blackhawks game.
Sweet. That's what I'm here for.
Yep. We heard from Jason Dickinson. Really good stuff from him. Curious as to the vibes from Jeff Blashill after the game.
Yeah, I mean, I think, the overall the view of this game is that you're up against one of the best teams in the league. You lose by a goal in a game that, even though it wasn't a straight line of how you got to the result, I think the totality of the game you look at and you say that effort more often than not against most teams in the league gets you rewarded with at least a point, if not a win. That's kind of the sentiment that we got from Jeff Blashill after the game. That's basically what Jason Dickinson was kind of saying. I mean, he focused a little bit more on kind of the ups and downs of the first and third period, and then the down of the second period, as you guys heard him talk about. But from Blashill, like it really did kind of seem like his view was that the response from the Buffalo game was what they wanted to see, and it comes down to a one goal game. So I know it's not fun to take away moral victories, but this really feels like a game where, that effort is going to be more or less rewarded against most teams in the league. And it's not great to take a moral victory away, but that's kind of what you take away from this game, is that the Hawks took the best team in the league down to the wire.
I saw that. I know we heard from Dickinson. I saw Wyatt Kaiser spoke too. I'm interested. Did anyone have any thoughts on the refereeing? I mean, I know they overturned the Bertuzzi call, but the penalty on Dickinson was just brutal. Just a complete nothing happened there. The guy fell on his stick and it broke. I know they try not to say too much, but you had Tyler Bertuzzi pretty much losing his mind, like showing the referees, please look at the screen and see how badly you missed this. Were there any comments on that?
Yeah, Blashill talked about the Bertuzzi penalty specifically, and he's said, maybe tongue-in-cheek, I'm not sure, but he did say that the referees were doing a better job of being able to look back at calls and be able to make sure that they get the call right. I don't know if he's talking about the entire season or just in this one specific situation on that one call that they did the right thing. But it was good to see that the way things had been going for the Hawks with penalties, the referees actually got, it's not hard, it was pretty egregious, but they actually got the right call in that there was no penalty. So Blashill did say that it was good that they went back and convened with each other and got the correct call right. But man, to even be in that situation was pretty crazy. And given the way that penalties had been going so far for the Blackhawks, especially just this week, I did not expect them to take it back. I expected typical NHL referees of, no, we stand by our call and our call is correct. And they took it back. So that was good to see, especially in such a big moment. I mean, the Hawks were just 2 games ago had a call not to go their way in such a big moment, and it reverberated around the league. So I think the officials probably had that in the back of their mind and was like, let's take a second look at this one.
We saw Connor Bedard take a puck off the collarbone. Everything seemed to be fine there.
Yeah, he played the rest of the game, didn't go down to the room or anything like that. So I don't think there's anything to be concerned about.
Definitely.
It wasn't brought up, so
Okay.
Definitely made you a little queasy when he got up right away and was skating to the bench and kind of shaking, and you're like, "Uh-oh,
Yeah.
now what?" But thankfully, he was able to shake that off and get back on the ice.
yeah, it was. We get a puck up right in the neck and clavicle area. That's a scary area to get hit in. But yeah, I mean, he played the rest of that was late second period. So he played the rest of the period and was back out there for the game. Maybe he takes tomorrow off. I don't know, but I don't think it's any cause for concern.
Speaking of Bedard, not shying away from matching him up against Nathan MacKinnon in this game. I thought that was interesting.
Yeah, Jeff Blashill had some positive things to say about Bedard and his line mates, Ryan Green specifically in the first period. After the game, this is what he had to say about matching up the top lines between Hawks and Avalanche.
You got that one, Chloe, of Blashill talking about Bedard matched up with MacKinnon? That's the one right there. No, on Green. That one. Yep.
Really good, everything but finish. I mean, he had great chances, and again, the goalie made some good saves. Like I thought, he did the right things. It just didn't quite go in. It was kind of the story of the whole first for us. But I thought he played really, really good. I thought the line was really good.
How do you think they matched up? It looked like they were spending most of their time against MacKinnon's line.
Yeah, I think good. MacKinnon's line's a great line, one of the best lines in the league, and especially with Nate just being out there, and a lot of times when he's out there, McCarr's out there, like they play together. I don't want to say exclusively, but a lot. And so there's a kind of a double-edged sword there, and I thought they did a good job. I thought it was a good. There was times where I put Dickie out there against them, but I didn't want to, give Dickinson a full night of it just coming back from injury, and I wanted us, Connor to check him and be able to check for his offense, and I thought that line did a good job.
It's interesting. I know Kyle Dubas was there. He's one of the decision makers for Team Canada, clearly scouting Bedard. And while Connor didn't have a great offensive game, no one did. I wonder if the fact that he was holding his own against MacKinnon drew some attention, because from what we've heard, I feel someone said the other day, it was LeBron or somebody had, that the concern that Canada has with Bedard is that they have to use him on the top 6, and if he's not in the top 6, they can't use him. So maybe a little bit of a showcase for Kyle Dubas, the untouchable Teflon boy.
Yeah, I mean, I think he did hold his own. I'm not sure Jeff Blashill's matching up Connor Bedard against Nathan MacKinnon for purposes of Team Canada, but I think he genuinely liked wanting to match up those two lines, given that the way that Green and Bedard and Burakovsky, I know tonight was Bertuzzi, but how that top line kind of has been gelling the last few games. And I mean, geez, Ryan Green should have had a hat trick in the first period, with the chances that he was getting, and the chances that trio was generating early on. And I think if you can play the Colorado Avalanche and you can hold that top line off the score sheet, that's a big accomplishment. They're one of the most efficient lines in the NHL. Nathan MacKinnon's, I think last check, he's leading the league in points. Like, if you can hold him off of the score sheet in a game like that, that's a win. That's a win for that matchup. And I know Bedard also held off the score sheet, but to be able to see how his game has kind of rounded out in the last few seasons, especially this year defensively, how it's gone, that was impressive to see from him. And then that's one of those situations where if Bedard is going to be playing in a matchup where you take one guy out for the other, you take Nathan MacKinnon out, but you also take Connor Bedard out, that's where you'd like to see a little bit more of the depth of the Hawks be able to kind of step up and provide, so that Bedard doesn't have to do everything like he's had to do the last 2 seasons. But in a vacuum, that trade-off 1-for-1, neither Bedard nor MacKinnon score, I think you take that if you're the Hawks.
Just for the record, Nathan MacKinnon leads the NHL with 37 points. McDavid second with 33. Then it's Celebrini 32, Bedard with 31. So there's your top 4 in the NHL in scoring.
This just goes to show, though, the overall improvement of Connor Bedard and the trust that Jeff Blashill is in, because this isn't the first time we saw this. The game earlier in Edmonton, he had Bedard out there against McDavid all night, so he's giving him those matchups. This is something you never would have thought a year ago.
Ever.
You would have been like, get him off the ice. The
Yes.
second MacKinnon is on that, you're getting nowhere near that. You don't want that at all, but it just shows the improvement of his two-way game this year, because we all kind of joked about everybody ragging on Bedard for his plus minus over his first 2 seasons, even though most people know that that's not a great stat to measure a player's overall performance at. But you're not hearing that a lot, because who has the best plus minus on the Blackhawks right now?
Yeah.
It's Connor Bedard. He's a plus 9. So it just goes to show that he's put in the work and it's paying off, and it goes to show that Jeff Blashill is trusting his young superstar to go out and be responsible. And, the best way to keep Nathan MacKinnon's line off the board, and we saw it in the first period, was don't let them have the puck.
Yeah.
And in the first period, they rarely had the puck. And obviously in the second, that the script got flipped. But, when you have your best line out there, there's a shot that their best line might be playing a lot of defense too.
And by the way, Bedard won 9 of 16 faceoffs today for 56%. So his faceoff game has really improved too.
It's good.
That probably puts him over 50% for the year.
I believe that's correct.
He was at 49.7 coming into the game. So my quick math skills tells me he's over 50%, which is ridiculous to think that that's a thing too. Because, I know he doesn't, 16 is a lot of faceoffs for him.
Yeah.
He was getting sheltered a lot early in the year, but again, that's just showing you the improvement that we are here a couple days before Thanksgiving and talking about Connor Bedard at 50% at the faceoff dot.
50.2% as of right now.
That's an insane stat.
Yeah.
When you think about how brutal it was his first 2 years.
Yeah, the fact that we were talking about coming into this season, living with if he was around 45%, and for him to be at 50, which is like, what you want your number one center to be able to do, at least, like that's an incredible improvement over the 38% he was over the first 2 seasons.
All right, we are going to hit the break zone. I know we've got more Jeff Blashill to come. We'll get to that with Mario next. Still, you have to get to the frat house. We still got to give away game pucks today and a whole lot more. So stick around. Back in 2 minutes on CHGO Blackhawks. Forget one day only. Black Friday is going on all month long at Ray Chevrolet in Fox Lake. So come in today to shop the Black Friday sales event and drive home with 10 to 30% off MSRP on new Chevy models, plus no payments for 120 days. Or check out their selection of over 125 vehicles priced under $20,000. And with one of Chicagoland's largest Chevy inventories, you're sure to find the perfect vehicle for you. Plus, Ray's price promise lets you shop confidently, because the price you see is the price you pay. Go see for yourself. Visit our partner at their convenient location right on Route 12 in Fox Lake, and don't miss out on their Black Friday sales event going on all month long for 10 to 30% off MSRP on new Chevy models, plus no payments for 120 days. Shop Ray Chevrolet in Fox Lake or at raychevrolet.com. They've been serving the community since 1963. Together, let's drive. And we've all been there, speaking of driving, where you've driven for an hour and a half and you're like, oh boy, I think I left my sunglasses on the roof of my car, and they're gone. You'll never see them again. They're somewhere in Denver. Maybe Chloe will find them for you. Well, guess what? We found Shady Rays, and it changed the game for people like that. Their sunglasses are made for real life. They look great. They're polarized. They're durable and not overly expensive. Not stupidly expensive, the copy says. And here's the best part. If you lose or break them, even on the first day, if you're a moron on day one, which who among us, right? Shady Rays will send you a brand new pair and no guilt trip, just replacements. So now you can wear your sunglasses without fear on hikes, at concerts, on the boat, wherever. Shady Rays is eyewear that has your back. We've teamed up with Shady Rays to bring you a great offer. Head to shadyrays.com. Use the code CHGO for 35% off polarized sunglasses. Try for yourself. The shades rated 5 stars by over 300,000 people. And we're back on CHGO Blackhawks. All right, Mario, I know we've got a bunch more Jeff Blashill to share, so let's start sharing it.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys have talked about Artyom Levshunov's game tonight, but it was an adventure. So to say the least, but Jeff Blashill kind of talked about Artie's game and where he's at, and he's been playing pretty well last couple of games, and this one was more of a unpredictable performance from him. So this is what Blashill had to say about Levshunov after the game.
His play. Artie's doing a lot of good things. It's just the balance of those good things versus those moments of too much risk, I guess would be the best way. He does an unreal job in the third, skating the puck out, and he's got ice to his left, and he tries to go one-on-one. Like, that's just the growth process of understanding how to attack the game without biting, taking off more than you can chew. So that's just a process with him that we're going to have to, as part of what we're doing this year, is allowing these guys to grow. And with growth, there's going to be some mistakes, but I think overall, he's headed upward and he's headed in the right direction.
This was definitely not his best game, and we saw a lot of the frustration, and this one came on the power play of I have been instructed to drop the puck, so I will drop the puck regardless of concept. I think there was one moment where Connor Bedard was literally as close to him as I am to Greg, and he was like, here you go. It's like, dude, don't be so literal. Just carry the puck, take it. You've got the skill, you've got the ability. But late in the game, we made a lot of nice plays to keep the puck in the zone, keep it moving. So it feels like for every holy crap moment from Artie, there's 2 or 3 where you're like, all right, really nice play. Hopefully it goes to 5 or 6 or 7 really great moments and 1 bad moment, and then 10, then 20. I think that's where he's headed. It's important to remember he's 19. He's in his 4th league in 3 years or whatever it is. Like, he's learning the language. Like, there's a lot on his plate, and I think overall Levshunov has been really, really solid with, of course, those moments of terror mixed in.
Yeah, his game is like a compliment sandwich, basically. Like, there's good things happening in between some bad stuff, so you want him to clean it up a bit. I think tonight for me with Artie was like, you saw, like you said, you saw offensively the impact he could have, and there were a few times where he made some really good plays to keep a puck alive or get a puck on net. Like, there were some good plays that way, but then there were just not even like, I wouldn't even say like passes where, you see what he's trying to do and it just didn't get there, or the Avalanche or, break up a pass or whatever it is. There were a lot of times where I had to like just lean back in my chair and under my breath, because you're not allowed to cheer in the press box or anything. Just be like, Artie, what are you doing? Like, there were just a lot of like drop passes to nobody, or soft passes to the middle that had nowhere to go. Like, it just, and it was something that we were talking about with Levshunov earlier this season, where it was just like he would, like, 1 out of every like 3 shifts, he would just fan on a pass and just or it would be so soft, like there was no zip to it. And I feel like he kind of got out of that for a bit, and now this game, there was a lot more of that, like whiffing on a pass, and like I don't know if it's just an urgency thing, or maybe his stick is too short. I don't know. But I think this is the give and take of a rookie defenseman.
Yeah, and I think there could have been a little bit of added pressure tonight, knowing what you have on the other side, who's bearing down on you, maybe starstruck a little bit. But Jeff Blashill said it all season. that Artie is an instinctual player, and when he's out there just going on his instincts, he's fantastic. When he starts thinking, he gets himself in trouble.
Yes.
And the hamster wheel was squeaking a little loud tonight between the ears, and it got him in trouble at times. But we've also seen that, like, when he makes those plays, he has the ability and the raw talent to quickly make up for it and get back in position and bail out. So, he was able to do that a couple times too. But definitely thinking too much on the ice, and as a wise man, Bull Durham once told me, thinking can only hurt the ball club.
Yeah, I mean, that's true. When you see a guy struggling with the simple and thriving in the complicated, that's kind of how Levshunov has been this year for the most part. That is a guy thinking. And we talked about it when Kirby Doc was here. You could see the wheels turning on the ice. And that's why, like, I think he's been pretty good on power play 1. Tonight, I probably would have said, all right, we're putting Renzel back on the top unit just for tonight because you're a little bit of an adventure. And that's what Jeff Blashill has said since day one when you go 11-7 is that if a guy's having an off night, you can move somebody up in those roles or take over those minutes or whatever it might be. Overall, you look at the sheet, and he didn't have a horrible game. Positive in possession. Shots for were 6-6 at even strength, even. Gave up a lot of scoring chances against, but so did the entire team, right? High danger chances were 1-2 in favor of Colorado. So he made some mistakes, but overall they kind of survived them. So, all right, before we let you go, I know there's one more thing you want to get to from Blashill here.
Yeah, a lot has been made about the speed of the Blackhawks and how they want to play, the guys that they've been bringing into the organization to play with that type of style, that type of identity, and how the Colorado Avalanche have kind of been a blueprint over the last number of years for Kyle Davidson to try and emulate and be a team that plays that way, that, the speed and the tenacity is what makes them, successful and hard to play against and one of the best teams in the league. So our buddy Tab Bamford was laying that out to Jeff Blashill and just kind of asked, like, seeing a lot of this roster made up of, guys that Kyle Davidson had drafted, how did he feel like their speed matched up with the speed of the Colorado Avalanche?
The speed play.
Well, I thought we're a fast team, and certainly, if they're a measuring stick, I think we're right up there. And I think part of being fast is not bogging yourself down. So I thought in the first we were really fast because we were able to go tape to tape. When you do those things, you can play way faster. In the second, we bogged ourselves down a little bit. We just weren't as poised with the puck. We weren't as when there's plays that we made, we didn't quite make them. But just from a pure speed aspect, we've got a lot of speed on our team, and it's something I think we can use as a valuable asset.
Yeah, no point that I think they were just getting the doors blown off by speed, like they couldn't keep up. I think it was the thing that impressed me about Colorado was just they just take space away so quickly. The Hawks but you saw it a couple times, like Bedard would get a step and then McKinnon was right there, or they're very gap responsible. They're very well coached. Yes, they're very structured.
They never break their structure.
Right.
I mean, that's something that the Blackhawks need to emulate too, is stick with your game plan, stay in the structure. Eventually, you're going to get what you're looking for.
Yep. All right, anything else to add before we spring, Mario?
I'm trying to think if we hit everything. I think we pretty much did. We also heard from Wyatt Kaiser, but you'll be able to hear that video on the YouTube channel. Maybe because, man, is he a soft talker? Like, I was probably standing like 3 feet from him, and I don't know if my microphone on my camera was able to really pick up what he was saying, but he had a lot of the same things to say regarding the game and everything. Jason Dickinson, I think, was really good. I'm really glad that he's back healthy and back in the lineup, just to be able to talk with him and hear his perspective on things, because he will give you some honest, good information. So yeah, that's basically it. Practice
All right.
tomorrow, game Wednesday.
Yes, sir. We'll see you at practice tomorrow. We have no show tomorrow. We'll be back Tuesday, but we'll be sending in all the video and audio from practice tomorrow. So make sure you're following Mario and me and Greg and the show on Twitter at CHGO_Blackhawks. We'll see you tomorrow.
See you guys.
All right. That is Mario Tirabassi live from the United Center. All right. We've got some stuff to do. Should we go to the frat house first, Chloe? How do you want to do it? Chloe is thinking. All right, let's do it. Yeah, let's hit the music. There we go. Yeah. Our featured frat boy today is goaltender Spencer Knight. 1 goal allowed on 26 shots. Didn't love the goal he gave up, but more than made up for it with several more dazzling saves. And one thing I like about him is similar to Corey Crawford, just like positionally. Even when it looks like a big threat, he's in really great position. And just even if he doesn't glove it or block it away, he's in position where the puck's going to hit him more often than not. And he's done a good job controlling rebounds. He's been awesome all year. That goes without saying. And despite the brain fart tonight, otherwise excellent.
Yeah, he was, it was a 1-0 game. The 1 goal allowed was off of a boneheaded play, and I'm sure he'll be the first to admit that. But the fact that it wasn't 4 or 5-0, which it could have easily been, was because he was so good the rest of the night. And even if he doesn't have that play, the last time I checked, you can't beat anybody with 0 goals on the board.
That is mathematically correct.
Yes.
That is mathematically correct. And speaking of Spencer Knight, he is the winner of our game puck. That is his 7th game puck of the season. He has a significant lead on Connor Bedard, who's 4, Tyler Bertuzzi's 3, Andrei Burakovsky's 2, and the 1 for Levshunov, Lafferty, Soderblom, and Colton Dock, and
Lucas Reichel. We'll always have that Lucas Reichel game.
Who is currently on the trade block for the
Again.
Vancouver Canucks after going shotless for 6 straight games.
But how could they get rid of him? He's so cute.
He's so cute, though. It is the worst day I've ever had as a Hawks fan, are things I heard online when Lucas Reichel was traded.
Yeah, okay.
We are going to go to overtime a little bit because we do have to get to your super chat. So if you're watching us on Roku or your Samsung TV or on the Xfinity, whatever, make sure you flip over to allchgo.com to finish the show. So let's start getting through some of these super chats. I know we've got a bunch, so let's fire those out here. I know we had a big one here. There it is, $20 from Michael. Says 1, the Hawks took the best team in the league to limit. 2, finally the refs review a bad call and reverse it. So they did reverse it. They can't review it,
right?
But they can meet, and one of the refs can say, "Hey,
I had a better view. That's not a good call.
That did not happen." Yeah,
I don't want to try and get out of this building tonight. So yeah, they did the right thing after another just brutal call against them.
$5 from Connor Del Rio says, ever since Nazar came back from his injury, has he lost his speed? He always looked like a difference maker with his speed. It's not there right now. Yeah, we talked about that a little bit. I mean, the injury was, we don't know specifically what it was, but he took a cross check in the thigh or the hip.
Yeah,
and
or the ribs.
It was clearly a lower body injury, so to expect the speed to be back up to 100% would be, I think, silly at this point. But as we said earlier, it might be time to have a talk with him and say, hey, like, he'll never say, yes, a day off will serve me right, but maybe it's a time for the trainers and coaches to take a hard look. And look, I'm not saying, I don't know. I don't have access to his medical records. I'm not the trainer of the Blackhawks.
But we could see what everybody else sees.
Yes.
He's not been the same player since that Calgary game.
Right. I wouldn't say he's ineffective, but without that speed, which is his big difference maker. Yeah. And he is not, let's see. He's got 4 assists in his last 5 games. So the points have been there. The goals have not been there. What's the last time he scored a goal? October 28th against Ottawa. That was his last goal.
That was a while ago.
So that's 1, 2,
Almost a month
3,
ago.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This is his 10th game without a goal.
Yeah. He went the whole road trip without a goal, but he missed the last game.
Yeah.
Game and a half. So, yeah, it just, without speculating, it's pretty obvious that he's not fully over whatever is ailing him because he's just not as effective as he's been in the past.
$5 from Maticus57 says, Jay, I am late, but as someone who was honored on the ice as a service member, glad to see your uncle got it. Vietnam vet paved the way for GWOT vets. I don't know what that is. GWOT? Anyone? Let us know what that is, Maticus. We'll clear it up. But thank you. Yeah, my uncle Frank, my godfather, was on the ice for the Connor Bedard hat trick game, the Calgary game. Very, very cool.
They haven't won since, so they need to get him back out there.
I know, get him back out there. Multiple Purple Hearts, Sergeant in the Army.
GOWT, by the way, is the Global War on Terrorism.
Oh, thank you. No, I'm not doing that. We're talking about Vietnam veterans. I'm not doing that.
What did I just do? Oh,
no.
Okay.
Wow.
I feel hip.
Joker's Performance 3951 $5 says, do you think they need to dial back Levshunov? He seemed very tired, or what do you think? Handing over power play one to Renzel, great night on defense. When you're, and thank you for Lebowski 55 for reminding me that he turned 20 a month ago. The point still stands. He is a young player who is learning at this level.
I mean, 4 games ago, everybody was ready to send Sam Renzel to Rockford. Like, this is what happens with guys at this level.
There's going to be ups and downs.
Yeah, you're going to get, 2 really good games and a game where you're like, yikes. It's expected. If we're here in March and April still having some of these same mistakes, then, you got to revisit some things. But right now, I think the best way is just let them play through it. And that's why Jeff Blashill is seemingly married to playing 7 defensemen, at least for the foreseeable future, because that allows him to divvy up those minutes, give a boost to the guys that are earning it, and pull back the guys that need to be pulled back.
Yeah. Final super chat from Mr. Pow Pow says, there was a check to the upper body. Nazar took this game and he looked to be in immense pain. Rest him. I think sometimes if you've ever played a sport, you can get something called a stinger, which is incredibly painful for a very short amount of time. And that's the shoulder collarbone
probably
joint.
Exactly what Connor Bedard was feeling after taking that shot.
It hurts like hell, but it does. I'm not saying he's not hurt, but I think the bigger issue for Nazar is the lower body thing, because he just does not have the explosiveness we're used to. Look, they've given Tyler Bertuzzi a bunch of practices off. You could do the same for Frank and play him.
Yeah.
Right? Say, hey, you know what? You're not going to practice tomorrow. We're resting you for the game. We'll get you in for the game. We'll have you out there for the morning skate or whatever. I think that's fine. And I know you tend to do that for veterans, but Frank Nazar is an important part of this team, right? Like, he's going to be a big part of this next era of the Hawks. He already is. Let's be honest. So you got to protect him
from himself at times.
Yeah,
yes.
100%. 100%.
We'll see. The Hawks will be practicing the next 2 days.
Yeah.
So we'll see. Maybe tomorrow he gets the day off and practices Tuesday. We'll see how they handle that. But as the overwhelming majority of the guys in the league are, you have to tell them they're not participating. They will not tell you, I'm too banged up to play. You usually have to pull them out, especially a younger player like Frank, who has, doesn't have the wealth of experience, say a Tyler Bertuzzi or Jason Dickinson, where they could say, nope, I'm going to take the rest.
And it was tough for Dickinson to do it this year too. You saw him
he tried
finally
to come back.
realize all right, I gotta shut this down for a while.
And he knew that if he, rushed it again, he's just going to be fighting this all year. So it's better to miss, a few games in a row as opposed to playing 3, missing 2, playing 1, missing 2.
Right.
Just heal it up.
All right, we're going to wrap things up. Again, off day tomorrow. We are going to have PD on the show on Tuesday at 3 o'clock. Going to do some Connor Bedard breakdown for us. We are efforting some other guests as the week goes on, so make sure you're with us Tuesday at 2:30. But like I said earlier, we will be at practice. We will be updating everything going on there. Maybe we'll get a word with Frank Nazar, see how he's feeling. We'll see who's around and who's available. But we will talk to you officially Tuesday at 2:30 right here on the CHGO Blackhawks podcast presented by Bet365.
We all silly like the mayor.